But first at noon, tributes continue for a Bexar County K-9 killed in the line of duty. Chucky was shot multiple times and died Friday night. Sheriff Javier Salazar just gave an update on that shooting. Eyewitness News reporter Jalisa Irizarry is live at the Bexar County Sheriff's Office with an update. Jalisa.
Yeah, Aaron, Sheriff Salazar is still very emotional over this weekend shooting, declaring Chucky a hero for his efforts in attempting to take down the suspect. But there are still a lot of questions if this K-9 should have been put in this situation to begin with. Now, Chucky and his handler were on scene for about 23 minutes before he was deployed to take down the suspect. But the sheriff said during that time, he was still pursuing the suspect, so he did not have time to put on his protective gear. The sheriff says Chucky was shot by the suspect just once. A bullet tore through his aorta, and he was grazed with another bullet. Now, Salazar says despite the initial gunshot Chucky took, he still attempted to take the suspect down, declaring him a hero.
That suspect kept firing. Even while Chucky had him by the upper body, that suspect kept firing. But because of Chucky continuing to hold on, in spite of his own mortal wound, that suspect was not able to take an aimed shot at our deputies or the troopers. So I can safely say Chucky saved lives by what he did.
Now, the sheriff says Chucky will be rewarded for those life-saving efforts at his funeral, which is scheduled for next Monday at 10 a.m. at Community Bible Church. Now, when we pressed Sheriff Salazar a little bit more on the protocol for sending an unprotected officer towards a suspect that had already fired shots, he said he did not want to get into the what-ifs right now. They are still grieving, but he did say that there are two separate investigations going on at this time. And he said it's too soon to tell if any protocol will change because of this incident. We're live at the Bexar County Sheriff's Office. Jalisa Irizarry, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.
The community is honoring K-9 Chucky. There are several fundraisers to help with training for other dogs and more protective equipment. Tip Top Cafe is raising money right now, as well as Denelyn Allen, a neighbor of Chucky's handler. She set up a Facebook fundraiser, which has raised more than $3,300 so far. We've got more information at KENS5.com on how you can donate.